Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Studio Z. So I think I have a really interesting one today. And what I'm doing today is I'm going back to a project I did about a year ago where I carved a tray, and it's this one here. And it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And I want to focus on this video on how to add some pizzazz to your carvings. And in particular, I'm going to show you how to do that to this tray. And I'm going to be starting out with this block of cherry. It's a 12 by 7 block of cherry. And I'm going to carve it into this tray, but I'm going to put a basket weave floor on the bottom of the tray. And today I'm going to show you how to do that. Also later in the video, I'm going to have a little comparison of the tray that I did a year ago versus the one that I'm carving right now. And we're going to have a little bit of let's say a discussion on trade-off, between time and detail again. And this one you're going to want to, stay tuned to the end, because the difference is really going to stand out. You're really going to see the difference. So there's something here to consider, and we'll get into that later in the video. All right, so let me bring you in closer. I'm going to pay a little more attention this time. I'm going to show you guys my setup, how I attach it to the table, focus on that a little more, and then we'll get right into the carving. All right, so here we have my setup. I'm again using a raised spacer here, a spacer table, let's call it, to be able to reach it. On my machine, I raised my machine, so I require this raised table to get closer to the machine. So for this one, I'm going to be using double stick tape to attach the block of wood to the table. And what I've done here is I've set up a tape on the perimeter. Okay, so that's going to hold the scrap once I've separated the tray, which will be in the center portion here like this. And this tape will hold the tray in place. And then I've got the outer tape to hold the scrap, so that, again, once I profile it, that I don't have that material banging into the router bit and causing a disaster. And so again, this is the block of wood. I have yet to surface this on both sides, so that once I attach it to there, that it is firmly bonded and there's no voids on it, so on and so forth. All right, so now that you've seen the attachment set up, let's get into the surfacing of it. All right, so the surfacing toolpath is done, and now I'm going to start the roughing toolpath. Again, this is a 3D carve, so there'll be a roughing toolpath and a finishing toolpath. And for the roughing, I'm going to be using this 3-flute upcut end mill. It's brand new, so hopefully it'll be nice and sharp, everything will be nice and smooth. All right, so let me get that loaded up, and we will start roughing it out. Alright guys, so now that the roughing toolpath is done, it's time to move on to the finishing toolpath, and for that I'm going to be using this tiny 1/32 diameter 2-flute upcut end mill. Yes, it's going to take a while, but wait till you see the details on this one. It's really worth it. Okay everyone, so here it is, all finished. I cut it out and took it out of the machine. As you can see there, Sorry about the knot and the mineral streaks. That was a hidden find inside of this board. I didn't know that it was there. But so as you can see how detailed this design is. And what I want to now show you is the trafe that I did last year, the original one. And the original one, I did this one with a 1/8 inch diameter tapered ball nose end mill. And it's like night and day difference. They don't even look the same. And you know, in mind, this is the same design. The only thing I did, I went back in and just changed in the toolpath, the tool, you know, and went from a 1/8 to a 1/32, and that was it. So, I mean, it's like, you know, going with a 1/8 inch bit and this one, you're missing 50% of the design. You know, it's completely gone. And this one, the 1/32, this one took 2 hours to carve this, plus about a half an hour for the roughing and the profile cut. Whereas this one, I believe, was only, if my memory serves me correct, it was under an hour, that's for sure. It was quick. I'm pretty sure it was like a half an hour to do this one. And so, I mean, look at that. It's just, you know, yeah, okay, you can tell it's some kind of like, maybe that it's a weave, you know, but it certainly doesn't look anything like that. I mean, there's so much missing. And, you know, the reason I went ahead and wanted to show this is that I know a lot of you lately have been asking, well, you know, because I do a lot of the detailed carves and they take a very long time, but you know, you're asking, how can you speed them up? And well, the only way to speed them up is to go with a larger diameter bit and increase your step over. But it's just, you see what's going to happen. You're going to lose your design. So here's the 1/32 tapered ball nose that I used for it. And you can see it fits right, obviously, in these little holes that are in between in the design. And it also creates the line right here in between the individual strands of the weave so that you can really see them, they pop out. And this is a 1/16 diameter tapered ball nose, which will not fit in there. It literally just touches it on all sides, so it will not fit. I can't even put it in there. Now granted, it'll carve to some degree this here, but it's not going to create that separation like you have there. And then obviously the 1/8 is just, you know, huge. It's just not gonna carve that. That's why this one looks the way that it does. So that's the big difference, you know. Yes, you can speed it up, but it comes at great cost. You're losing everything that is in the design just because the end mill cannot get in there to carve it out. As you can see, you know, look at that. It clearly fits, you know, in there to cut it. And there's room for it to move around in there as well, obviously. But, you know, even if you try it again with the 1/16, I cannot put it in there. It does not fit for anything. And if it did, it wouldn't create a square, it would make a circle. So again, worthless. It just doesn't work. So the end result is, you know, looking at this, that there's just no choice, you know, depending on the design you're using, especially something like this, you're going to have to go with that really, really fine 1/32 bit to get in there and get all of those details. Otherwise, you're just going to lose it, and you know your design's going to look muted and missing. I mean, it really, like, you know, on this one you can really tell the difference. In my last video that I did this topic, which was with the dog carving, you know, you could get away with it because, well, you realized that it was a dog. You know, you could see the dog's face, and that was okay. But here, you're really missing out on the beauty of the design. It's really pronounced. So, I hope that answers a lot of the questions for you guys. And this one for me was really apparent. I've really started to like the 1/32 bit. It's become my favorite bit for carving, and I really don't mind waiting the amount of time because the detail you get from it is unmatched. All right, so here it is. I put a little mineral oil on it, and you can really see how the features really pop out once you know, you do that. Yeah, that mineral oil really brings out all of the character in the wood. So I hope you guys got a little bit of an idea here how to add some pizzazz, you know, get a little creative with your carvings. You can clearly see the difference. You know, you can go from something as plain as this, not that there's anything, you know, wrong with that. Wood is beautiful, but you can spice up your, you know, your carvings by adding a weave design, something like that. Or, you know, obviously just, again, sparks your creativity towards something else in a different carving, just to make some of the features pop out of it. And it's just another tool in your arsenal there to make your stuff stand out from somebody else's. And that was the point of this video. It also, as you can, you know, as you saw in the last clip there, that, you know, the difference between using the right bit, that the bit that I used, you know, a year ago on that initial tray carving, I lost, you know, 50% of the detail of the carving. You could barely tell what it was. And going over it again this time with the 1/32 bit really brought out everything. And I mean, the difference is dramatic. It's unbelievable. Now you can actually tell what it is. And you know, again, for me, I don't mind the length of time that it takes to carve with that 1/32 bit, because I love detail. That's the thing that, you know, I chase after. I really, the more detail I can get out of something, the happier I am. And again, for me, it's worth it. I don't care whether it takes 8 hours, 11 hours, or, you know, such. The only issue is if you're trying to sell it, then, you know, it becomes questionable there, because, you know, at what you're supposed to get, which is about $50 an hour for machine time, you know, then it gets a little bit sketchy whether or not you're actually going to get that money back. So that's something to keep in mind. But again, I hope you guys learned something from this one. And if you did, please be sure to give me a thumbs up, hit that like button, and please don't forget to subscribe. It's really important. Keeps the channel going. So with that, I will see you guys on the next one.